Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 13th, 2023 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, so thank you so much for doing so. If you're interested in entering to receive a free reading from me, put a turkey in the comment box, and I will be announcing the winner in a separate video, so don't be scammed by anybody contacting you. It will not be me. I will be choosing somebody at random and announcing that person in a separate video. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. And if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com, which is also linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, Scorpio. So let's see what the tarot has to say about you and this Scorpio new moon. It's at 20 degrees Scorpio. So this is an astoundingly powerful moon for you. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Oh, goodness. They're stuck together. Hold on. It's coming. Is it? I'm apart? There we go. So we have the Two of Coins. We have the Nine of Wands. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Page of Coins. The Devil. If you're born on the cusp with Libra, Libra also had the Devil energy come in. That's Capricorn energy. So if you have either Libra in your chart or you're born on the cusp with Libra, check that out. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. So this is an intense time, not going to lie, not going to say, oh, roses and butterflies, awesome. I mean, you have the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands is battle weary, and you're battle weary. You've been through a lot, and to acknowledge that is going to be super important. And this isn't something where it's like, oh, other people can shoulder the burden or other people can hold this. You have to hold it yourself. And that's going to be something that maybe we don't want to hear, but it's kind of like, okay, now that I know that it's me, right? It's me having to show up, and there's not going to be that white knight, that rides in on their steed and rescues the day. That's empowering. It's good to know. It might not be empowering. It might not be like what we want to hear, but there is a real energy here of you're looking at the seeds that you need to plant. You're figuring it out. And you might feel a little bit lost or a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit like, my gosh, what is going on here? Because you're trying to balance everything. And Spirit is saying you have to let some things fall. You do. You have to let some things go. And that's just going to be for your own, well-being and your own ability to move forward in the best human way possible for you, Scorpio. We have the Ten of Swords. This is a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. This is my minor arcana Scorpio card. So you're embracing yourself. You're seeing yourself resurrect. You're seeing yourself, rise like a phoenix from the ashes. You're seeing yourself be able to move forward. And it's after a time of chaos. The devil time, traditionally it's seen as addictions, but it is also, it is also chaos. It is standing in the midst of chaos and saying, I see it. I see it, but I will not be eaten by it, right? So there's a power here that you're asserting in your life that's really quite beautiful, but it's also a little bit unexpected. It's like, oh, I didn't expect this to be the way it goes, right? So let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Okay, so we have 3 here because why not? You're just a little bit extra energy coming forward, right? We have here devoted, we have harmony reversed, and we have spiritual. We are devoted to the spiritual, and we're going to be seeing that within ourselves, that sense of I need that spiritual, that ritual, that grounding for me. Harmony is reversed. We need to find our harmony. It's kind of like when you go to the symphony and the orchestra is tuning its instruments, and you think, how is this ever? You have that cacophony of sound come forward, and you're like, how is this ever going to, blend and be beautiful, right? It's all, everybody's just doing their own thing. Then all of a sudden it comes together, and it washes over us like a wave, and it's like beauty. And that's what we're seeing here with harmony. Right now, everything's just a little bit out of step. Right? Just a little bit out of step, not completely out of step, just a little bit behind. And it's just enough to throw things off. But it's also just enough to make us question, what do I need to do to harmonize the situation, to put everything back into alignment? And we're finding our harmony during this time. This moon is asking us, what are you truly devoted to? What is it that you truly want? It brings it forward. Because a lot of the time, our ambition and what the world wants us to want is at odds with why our soul is here on this earth. And we're finding the harmony of us. It's just taking a little bit, and that's okay. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. So this is the energy to be mindful of, and it's frail. Now, this is Sagittarius energy, but this is, again, frail. Temperance is all about harmony. Now, if you're born on the cusp with Sagittarius, or you have Sagittarius in your chart, you can find that this is a little bit of a discord, right? We're out of harmony with this aspect of ourselves or this person in our lives. But it's also the waters being poured in by our angels from one cup to another. So the emotions can be off. Things can just seem a little bit more intense. We can be having reactions to things or ambivalence to things, and we can be thinking, why? Why I'm supposed to be passionate about this, or I'm supposed to be driven by this, or I'm supposed to be. And it's like, but I just want to be scrolling on my phone. So here, looking at things and say, okay, where's the chaos coming in? Where's the discord? And it's just a little bit out of harmony, just a little bit not tuned right. And it's just enough to make you go, I wonder what's off. I don't know exactly what's off. So just being aware of this is going to be super important for us. With the 2 of coins, it's balance, right? It's juggling everything. And it's looking at everything that we think we should be wanting or we think we should be doing or all our responsibilities. And it's just feeling like, how do I juggle this all? And what we're going to wind up dropping is what means the most to us, right? What we need to do for us, what moves us forward successfully. But because it's not giving to everybody else, we're going to be like, oh, okay, well, that I can drop the ball on, or that I can be overwhelmed with, or that I can be, questioning about. So here, it's coming back into harmony and not losing alignment with ourselves, because that's going to be super easy. So with the 2 of Pentacles, look at everything you're juggling, Scorpio, because it's a lot. You have a lot on your plate. And look at what you really want. Look at what's really important. And also look at the expectations of everybody else. Are they putting a lot on your plate? Do you have to say to some people, you know what, you got to do this yourself? And that can sound mean, but it's not. It's like you have to do this yourself. It moves us to the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is feeling caged. It's feeling trapped. You can have a lovely prison, but it still feels like a prison. So here, where is the cage? And why is the cage? Is the cage of our own making, because it can be. It can be our own fear and our own doubts, especially with everything going on in the world. That fear of stepping forward. With the 9 of Wands, you can also be listening to everybody and everything and taking it all in. And it just becomes too much. How do you move forward? Where do you step first? What do you do first? So look at the cage. Take a deep breath in and ask yourself, where's the cage? You'll be surprised what Spirit answers you. Scorpio, your world is between the waking and the spiritual world. Your world is so, people always say, like, a little bit darker, right? A little bit darker way of looking at things, because it's a little bit more real than people want to be, right? A little bit more honest than maybe people think we should be. And here with the Nine of Wands, it's like, where do we just feel like overwhelmed and drained? And questioning, how do you move forward from here? Where do we feel caged in? Like we're not fully connecting. And then it brings us to the Page of Coins. Now, this can be around money and passions. Like our passion isn't moving us in the same direction that we wanted it to, or as prosperously as we wanted it to. Now, it can be that we are a student of money again, and we could be like, man, I thought I figured this out, and now I'm starting again at the beginning. This can also be very young earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It's like, okay, how do I do this? How do I plan this? You have very strong Capricorn energy coming through here. So you can be dealing with a very young Capricorn, maybe not in years, but in maturity wise. They have you looking at things differently, or questioning things, or seeking out answers to certain things. So just be aware of this. With the with the Page of Coins, with the Page of Pentacles, we are looking at the seeds that we need to plant. We are looking at what we want to grow within ourselves. We're even asking ourselves, can I do this? You have a lot of new ideas coming forward, but because we feel overwhelmed, overextended, and we're kind of realizing that there's going to be no superhero that comes in, right? We're looking at things and saying, can I even move forward? What is there that I want to grow, that I desire, that I want to move forward in? This is going to be a moon of immense learning. I like to think of a new moon as just like this deep breath in and closing your eyes and asking yourself, what do you want? Where do you want to be? What's important for you? It's not looking out into the world. It's not a spotlight coming on. It's a sense of slowly and calmly aligning ourselves with ourselves, seeing us. And we're seeing ourselves prosperity, money, or what we value as much as money, coming forward and saying, how do I grow? It doesn't matter our age. It doesn't matter, where we find ourselves in the world. It's how do I grow? How do I expand? How do I become what I want to be? And it's embracing the seeds. We're listening. We need to listen to our inner child right now when it comes to money, when it comes to success, when it comes to prosperity. And then we have the devil. The devil is intense. So Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn. We can want everything to be so ordered, so structured, that I always think of the gardens of Versailles, right? Manicured within an inch of their lives. Like those plants are going to grow in the exact shape that those gardeners want them in. But they have to be trimmed every single day, or else, they're out of place. They're not perfectly aligned, and it's exhausting. So here, what we're seeing is, what is the creative nature of you? Or what is, the creative nature, the natural nature of you? And how does it grow forward? What do you want? What do you need? Here, we have the Red Bull. And I forget the unicorn's name in The Last Unicorn. So if you know it, write it please in the description, in the comment box. But here we have the last unicorn in her female shape, right? Against the Red Bull. Against this huge force, we have this little force. And we think, how could it ever? But what we're seeing here is what I deeply desire, what I deeply love, against a force of anger, a force of chaos, a force of a destruction. And we're going to see that there is something to us during this time. And we're going to find that out. It's like, oh wow, I didn't realize I was that strong, or I didn't realize I was that brave, or I didn't realize I could do that. And we're going to start to look at ourselves, Scorpio, in a very different light. It's like, wow. When you think of achieving impossible dreams, you're going to think, oh, well, I never did that. And Spirit's like, oh, yes, you did, constantly. And you're going to see where you achieve the impossible and how you achieve the impossible. And it brings us to the 10 of Swords. Now, be mindful. We could want to be really, really structured during this time, which, it's like damming up the waters, right? The waters want to flow. And we are a water sign represented by the cups, right? We want to flow. We want to expand. We want to create. We want to go and dive deeper. So if we dam it all up, the waters don't flow. So just being aware of this is going to be super important. We can't hold ourselves too strictly. That's just not going to work. And it brings us to the 10 of Swords. We've taken it all in. We've been battered and bruised and overwhelmed. We've looked at it from all different angles. Think of this, et tu, Brute, right? Julius Caesar, when in Shakespeare, when he's attacked, it's like, you too, Brutus, you attacked me, you came for me. Where he gets stabbed by all the senators and dies. We can feel like that in our life. It's like, you too, like even what I thought I could trust, I can't trust. And we're rising out of that time period. We're rising out of that chaos, of that feeling, of that being overwhelmed. So here, with the 10 of Swords, we're looking at everything. And instead of saying, these are the weapons that destroyed me, right? We're rising up and we're saying, this is now the armor for my army. This is now the weapons that will guide me forward and that have taught me lessons I maybe never wanted to learn, but I am fiercer for having learned. Remember, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is a person laid flat on the ground with 10 swords in them. It's overkill, but it's also a waste. 1 sword, 2 swords, that would do it. And a sword, well, that changed your whole entire life in medieval times. Especially in early medieval times, you got handed a sword, all of a sudden your family was elevated. All of a sudden, you were on a totally different trajectory than you were before. It was maybe a little bit more violent one, but I mean, it was also one that had the potential for growth and expansion. And so here with the 10 of Swords, we're seeing ourselves rise. We're seeing ourselves look at things and be like, oh wow, can I move forward? Like I can do this. Like I have this weaponry. I have this technology, this power, this sign of wealth. And remember, swords were only given to the elite. You were literally not allowed to hold a sword if you were a peasant. That's why in artwork, I used to think that it was just like to drive home the point that, the peasants were poor, that they had pitchforks, but they weren't allowed to have a sword or proper weapons. So here, these are proper weapons. This is elitism. This is maybe the backstabbing in elitism, sure, but this is coming out of it stronger. And it brings us to the 3 of Coins. It's like, okay, nobody's going to help me create or, help me really get to where I want to be. Now, that may not be true all the time, but right now, it just feels that way. It's like, oh, you're going to look on while I schlep and break my tush, but you're not going to help. Okay, fine, cool, I see it. I'm not defined by it. There's a strength in you now that is brilliant, Scorpio. You might not like it, and you might not want it, and that's okay. But there's a strength to you that shows up. And believe me, people take note. Believe me, you take note. Let's see. Let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels. Ooh, immediately. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay, I got when I put down change, right, on top of the page of Pentacles, don't take it too seriously. If you take it too seriously, you cannot create and cultivate. So just be mindful about this. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. So the road from this new moon to the full moon, which I think is on the 27th, don't hold me to it, I'm not entirely sure. It might seem a little bit rocky. Not in a way of it being bad or anything like that, but in a way of like, you feel like you're being tested, or you feel like you're looking at what you really want. And there's almost a question of like, do you really want this, Scorpio? And it brings us here to this place of beauty reverse. And it says, be bold and make the first move. As you're balancing everything, as you're finding your way forward, there's a sense of, I've lost the beauty, right? I've lost the plot. And for a water sign energy, it is beauty. It is beauty and emotion. Here in this card, I cannot tell you, and if you've been here before, but I cannot tell you how many times I used this card and I didn't see the face. The eye, the eyebrow, the outline of the face, the lips, the nose. I didn't see it. I saw like the lips, or I saw the eye, and I just thought, oh, it's saying nature is watching us. No, it's saying that there's faces, there's beauty everywhere. Yes, nature is watching us, but it is so easy to not see the abstract beauty in existence. And it's time to connect once again with the beautiful. Be bold and make the first move. Make that first move, kind of like, asking somebody out or connecting with somebody. Make that first move to boldly bring back the beauty into your life. And it brings us then to a personal issue reaches resolution, and that's reversed. So with the 9 of Wands, we still feel caged. We still feel overwhelmed. We can still feel like, how am I ever going to be able to move forward? So a personal issue reaching resolution and self-reflection is reversed. We have to look at ourselves. Once we start really looking at ourselves, what do I want? What do I need? Why do I feel caged? Why do I feel overwhelmed? Because remember, the new moon is a time of intentions. The new moon is a time to say, where do I want to be for me? And then all of a sudden, when we start to see a personal issue reaching resolution, we start to see the personal issue that hasn't reached resolution, that makes us feel caged. And we start to say no to it. No, I'm not being held back anymore. And then all of a sudden, slowly, steadily, but beautifully, things start coming together. Nothing is yet set in stone. We can be very kind of nihilistic about things, right? Oh, it's all like this. It's all like that. It's terrible. Very much like an Eeyore type of energy. But nothing is yet set in stone. Your page of your prosperity, meaning you're learning, you're gathering up the information of money, of what you value as much as money, of prosperity and success. You're starting a new chapter, but you forgot to listen to yourself. Somewhere along the way, other people's voices, other people's prosperity, other people's success started to mean more to you than yours. And know that's changing. Nothing is yet set in stone. Change is powerfully moving you forward. And you might not like it. A lot of times we have this change come in and it's like, oh my gosh, how do I move forward in this? How do I embrace this? But this moon is going to be changing a lot. And we could be trying to push it back, saying, no, stay the same. But once we accept the change, like let the waters wash over us, we're going to be surprised. We're going to be surprised how it moves forward. Prosperity lies ahead is reversed. We can feel trapped. We can feel overwhelmed. Devil energy coming in, doubts and fears, all the negative, nasty things that we have felt that made us feel small or insignificant or like I can't. Well, we're facing that. The sacred masculine comes in, and when we think of the moon, we don't think of the sacred masculine, we think of the sacred feminine. But the sacred masculine comes in and says, hey, listen, this is a time of power. This is a time of prosperity. It's time to see it. Not to try and control everything within an inch of its life, but to embrace your power, to embrace your authority, to embrace what you desire in your life, to stand up for you and move forward in that energy of confidence. Not quiet caring, but confident strength. We can have the quiet caring, Scorpio. We can. We're built off of it. But the powerful strength, the determination, the focus, the insight, that's coming to the forefront. And once we bring that to the forefront, we start to say, I get to change this game. I get to be prosperous. And so then what is reversed becomes, right side up. And we're like, oh, prosperity does lie ahead. But it is okay to feel hopeless at times, overwhelmed, doubting, fearing. But during that time, remember how strong you are. Even if you feel as weak as a newborn kitten, remember your strength, because that's what you're being called to. And it brings us then to have faith in your dreams. As you're resurrecting, right? As you're like a phoenix from the ashes, have faith in your dreams and focus on your third eye. Focus on that connection with the spirit world, with the waking world, with being that bridge in between. It's time to see your dreams. It's time to remember your dreams, which you could think, oh, those dreams outdated. I had them when I was young. They might not be. And that's okay. What we dreamed of when we were 15 years old can look very different than the reality we find ourselves in right now. But it doesn't mean we lose the essence of our dream of life. It just might be different how the puzzle pieces are all put together, or the language we even have to describe it. Have faith in your dreams. Have faith in you. Focus on opening your third eye. Focus on truly connecting with your angels and your spirit guides. You'll be surprised at the insight you get. Surrender to the divine, and boundaries are reversed. With the 3 of coins reversed, with the sense of, there should be other people working on this. We just feel like we lost our boundaries. We need to have clear boundaries, Scorpio. It's so important for us. Why we feel things too deeply. and we're misunderstood, at times. I mean to sound like a teenager, right? But there's just a sense like we feel the world too deeply, and not everybody sees things the same way we do. And that's okay. Everybody's allowed to see it however they want to. But we need to look at ourselves and what we desire and what we want and have clear boundaries. Say yes to this and no to this and move forward in our power. We find it hard to surrender to the divine. We want to have control. That's what the devil energy even says. Like, I want to have control. And part of the way to have control, it sounds so counterintuitive, but is to release it. Is to say, listen, I cannot control, the way the raindrops fall, but I can control how I dance in the rain. I can control me. It brings us to our subconscious spirit energy, which is white light. Spirit is saying, heal. And we're having a hard time with that. We're having a hard time releasing and connecting. The candle meditation, where you focus on the space between the burning flame and the candle, that can be, and the wick, that can be just so beneficial to you right now, Scorpio. So just know that. Knowing, healing, meditating, connecting. However you meditate, movement meditation, sitting quietly meditation, however you do it, embrace healing beautiful love. Embrace the healing of the universe. Because for one reason or another, it's a little bit hard for us. So just acknowledge that. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. It's the 5 of Cups reversed. It's change your mind and change your life. But we can be stuck. It's kind of like when a record is stuck, right? And it makes that scratchy, it makes that terrible sound. Or, when something is stuck, it makes that terrible sound. Changing our minds, changing our lives, seeing the beauty, seeing the love. That's going to be a really important thing. And it can be a really hard thing for us during this time. We can get stuck in one way of seeing it, one way of it being. So just acknowledging that and saying, okay, well, I can be a little bit set in my ways during this time. I acknowledge it, but I am not going to be defined by it. Or I can see that I'm being stubborn, right? Kind of seeing that I'm being stubborn or seeing that I'm being stuck in my ways. And then once we see it, we can be like, oh, okay, so I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to get out of my own way type of energy. Our subconscious tarot message is the Page of Cups. That's us. We're a student. We're a student of our heart. We're a student of what we love. We're a student of what we desire in our lives. We're a student of moving forward for us. We need to connect subconsciously, consciously with our inner child. And we need to say, I see you. I see you and I hear you. Because for one reason or another, we are not feeling fully seen and we are not feeling fully heard. And that just makes us feel small. So just be aware of this. Our subconscious Luna message is extremes. So look at the big picture is reversed, right? So instead of looking at the big picture, we're going from one extreme to another. The intensity of emotion is real here. So acknowledging that, okay, I'm going to be an all or nothing kind of person. I'm going to really be embracing the extremes right now. And it can be chaotic. But I need to look at the big picture. But looking at the big picture can be a challenge for me. So just knowing that about this time can even be so liberating and so insightful. When we're setting our intentions or looking in on ourselves. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony. Scorpio, may blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a blessed moon. Bye.